Welcome to this week's episode of Mainly Motorsports, and we're continuing our winter of talking to drivers from different tracks, different divisions across New England, really. And we're here with Maddie Sanborn, past modified driver, who kind of started out 2018. You had different plans in mind. You were like, I'm gonna hang up the helmet, go to a street stock.
Well, it started off, I was all pumped about the mods, as usual. Season started off a little rough, just typical racing stuff. And I tend to be up and down about racing sometimes over my career. And somebody had some money and wanted to go mod racing, and I had a car. And so we sent it down the road, and I said, well, I wanted to go street stock racing, which is a growing division around New England, and it's a lot of fun and everything. But I ended up getting a nice car and putting some time and money in it. But really almost got burned out, not without even racing it. And I was going to cut back and all this, and I ended up running it once in just late in the year, and it just wasn't what I wanted to do. And I ended up selling it back to the person I bought it from, and it was a good time, but it was a learning experience. And in between, I had run my dad's car a little bit, the original mod that I had, and had some really, really good success with it. So kind of regrouped after I sold the mod. After I sold the street stock, and we're gonna go back for that this year and really chase it. So we're pretty pumped up about that. That's my old car, and I love the thing, and it's fast. So we're gonna have a good time this year, and no selling things.
And then, like you said too, like the past modified division, it's kind of like a shame that you don't have more drivers in your division, because like cost-wise, you said street stock costs more than a past mod in the long run.
It does, and it surprises me too. I think we have grown a little bit. We've seen an increase a little each year, and everybody knows out there in the social media world that I am a huge supporter of the division. But they're so much fun to drive and so easy to work on, and the cost is the best class. I've run about everything, for real. And as far as cost versus speed and time and help and schedule, it is the best out there. There's no doubt in my mind. And it's a wonder we don't have 32 of the cars every week. But, it is growing, and people are starting to see some benefits of it. And it's just like I said, the what we get for a purse versus what we spend is really, really good. So, I think that it's a division that could really take off, and it's been around forever, but I just mean it could really, all it takes is, 3 or 4 more guys jumping in and really making it what I think it could be. And again, it's easy to work on, 1 or 2 nights a week, so you don't have that full-time feeling of getting burned out. So it really fits me and my family and my friends that I race with. I think we all fit in that division perfectly. So that's why we love it, and it's a great division.
And then speaking of family, the car that you raced the mod that you raced this past season was actually your father's.
Yep.
So how does it feel like, watching him race and being able to race with him sometimes, which you're going to be able to do this upcoming season, and what did it feel like kind of stepping into his seat and taking the wheel?
Well, first of all, my dad and I are really, really close. My whole family is pretty close, but we, by racing together, it's so much fun. I cannot describe how much fun it is. Now, we have one guy between the two of us for a crew, my best friend Kyle, and he works really hard to get 2 cars ready to go, but my dad tends to, back it down. He's there for different reasons than I am. We're both there for fun. That's number one in our book, and a lot of people know that. We all want to win or whatever, but that's a lost art of just having fun with racing. So that's our first goal. Second goal is, I really want to win and maybe a championship even. My dad is there because he's 70 years old, and he can keep up and I think go pretty well if he just calmed down a little bit. People don't realize that he's kind of a hammer behind the wheel. So, so we, I can't describe the feeling it is. It's what we do together, and we have so much fun. And to see, us both out there. Just a quick little. A couple years ago, we were racing together, and I was in third, and I was lapping him, and I just thought, this is so cool. not many people get to do this. So yeah, sure, you Mike and Ben Rowe, or and there's a lot of people that have raced with their dads, but it's it is pretty special for me, and we only live once, and to do this with my dad, my best friend, and our whole family it's pretty cool,
And I think your team too, it's kind of cool because like walking through the pits, you see all these people that have like, 4 or 5 crew members, and then you see yours, and it's just pretty much whenever I see you, like you said, your dad, one other person. So that's what makes your team like unique too, is that you really are like homegrown, very tight-knit group of people that just love racing, and you don't need to have like a whole entourage, to be successful.
Right. Yeah. I think again, go back to the division. I think what helps with that. I mean, you get up in a super late model, and it's a necessity to have the help. With us, it's enough. My buddy comes over to our house 1 or 2 nights a week, and we get stuff done. And my dad being retired helps a lot during the week too. But yeah, at the track, I think people make it too complicated sometimes. Yeah. We've learned that simpler is better and faster. So, it makes it more fun for me to do the tires, or me to make an adjustment. To me, that's part of it, And don't get me wrong, more help is always fun too. But I don't know. It makes it easier logistically. I don't know. That's what we do. It's the 3 of us, and we work hard, and that's what we do.
Yeah. So definitely, like this upcoming season, going to be you and your dad, kind of facing off again on the track, and a lot of changes coming to your Division II schedule-wise.
Yep.
So maybe we'll take a break, and we'll come back, and we'll talk more about the 2019 season coming up with you on Mainly Motorsports.
Ignition won't turn? Wait, don't tow it. It may just be a 1 key. Hi, I'm Jim Broadhurst, owner of eKeys for Cars of Saco. At eKeys for Cars, we'll diagnose your problem over the phone and give you a firm quote. No bait and switch here. Whenever or wherever you're stuck, eKeys for Cars will come to you. Call eKeys for Cars in Saco, the fast, affordable fix for your car key and lock needs.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by LKQ Core. Any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham. Wiscasset Speedway, Maine's biggest and fastest, with $5 admission every weekend and loads of family fun. Check us out at wiscassetspeedway.com.
Bentley Saloon, Route 1 in Arundel. Stop by and see why me and my friends say, who has more fun than us? We do.
Welcome back to Mainly Motorsports, and still here with Maddie Sanborn. As you saw before the break, talked a lot about this past season in 2018, how different turn of events led to you getting back into a past mod being pretty successful. Yeah. But there's a lot of changes coming in 2019, schedule-wise for you guys. A lot of new tracks added to the schedule, which is really cool.
It is awesome, actually. I mean, if we raced at one track all year, I'd still be a fan. I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to that. But the schedule was released, and we are pretty excited to see some tracks that we've never even been to. So I look forward to that. I'm not a type of guy that, Oxford is my favorite, okay, and always will be because I grew up going there and whatever. But to see Hudson and Groveton, we went to Groveton once last year, but Spud. Going back to White Mountain once, which is always a good time. So, I mean, it's just really, really fun for us to be able to, a little bit more diversified schedule,
And what are some, so you mentioned you've gone to Groveton this past year. What are some challenges of going to a place like that where you're like you said, Oxford is your home, so used to running there,
right.
So how does it feel like going to these new tracks and trying them out?
Well, it's a lot of fun, but it does have some challenges because, at Oxford, there's no grip, and it's flat and very round, and you go to a high bank quarter mile, and never mind the setup of the car, it's just different to get used to, the tightness of the track, the banking, and it has its challenges. A lot of guys will like that because we don't have that, locally, but it's a lot of fun. It's just, it seems like by the time the night's over, you're just starting to hit me personally starting to hit my marks and getting better there, or somewhere like that. But, that's the whole challenge of it, is to, and maybe we'll go to one of these tracks and I'll be a rocket ship. So, you know what I mean? You really don't, I guess that's the best way to put it is, you go to a place you never raced before, and geez, it really might fit your style, you know. So that's cool. I look forward, or even if it doesn't, I will still look forward to it because it's all about getting the division out there. Different people see the cars, and you know, and I think that can help too. That's a big help to the division. So yeah, it's pretty neat.
I feel like it's cool, like as both a driver, like and a spectator too, to go to these different tracks because every track is like a different atmosphere. Like when I went up to Sped this past season for like the past race,
Yes.
it was like the entire town of Caribou, some surrounding towns were there. They sold out the place.
Yeah.
So it's like you guys are like, I see everyone is like stars when you go up there, whereas like just weekly down at Oxford, you're just doing your job.
That's true. And actually, when this past year we went up to Groveton, I've been there several times over the years, but the improvements that track has made is unbelievable, and it was just cool. Like just waiting in line to get into the pits, you see different divisions, different guys, and this one gentleman was asking about our cars and stuff, and that is pretty neat. It's something I don't want to say take for granted, but you go to the same tracks all the time, and it's you kind of see the same people, and we're all friends or whatever. But you start going to these other places, and they do things a little different, and it's really neat to see, and it's kind of cool. I look forward to the Spud. Because I've heard that before, and I've heard the track is really awesome, actually. So some drivers really like it there, and that's going to be cool. I already have the hotel booked. And, that's going to be really fun. And I thank the Mayberry family and everybody involved, all the officials, for opening up the schedule a little bit. It's pretty neat, and I think there's going to be some good support. So
I feel like it's definitely exciting for both like you drivers and like the fans as well. But we're talking a lot of talk about the 2019 season schedule coming up. So like. It's crazy to think that race season is just around the corner, but it really is.
Yeah.
So where's your car at for the season? Like, what's the progress that you've made?
Pretty much just hanging a new body on it. The body was been on it since 2014, so I want to say it was ragged, but it was time for a new one, and a new body and tin. And my buddy Tyson Jordan is helping me out with that, and he kind of does it part-time, and he's a crew chief for Calvin Rose up to Oxford. Great guy. I've known him my whole, for quite a while now, and he's looking to do some business on the side, and he's using me good, and so far it looks really, really awesome, and so that's pretty cool. It gives him something. He's never hung a body on a modified interior tin and whatever, so it's giving him a chance to do that and show off his work, and but yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna go through a few things once we get it back. Couple of little maintenance things, but I've learned with this car to not touch it much. So she's pretty quick. So we look forward to it. Kind of a different look too. My little girl, she'll be 4 in April, and last summer I said, "All right, what color do you want Daddy's race car next year to be?" And the first 2 words were pink and purple,
Of course.
Which is not surprising, right? Well, I thought maybe she forgot, and we'll do, my black or white or whatever, because I'm kind of like that. And no, it's pink and purple. It's definitely going to be on the. So we've kind of already named the car, Pinky the Pass Mod, or My Little Pony the Pass Mod, something like that. So anyway, she rules the world as far as I'm concerned. So it's going to be white and pink and purple. So that's a big change this year. So we look forward to that. It's fun.
And like you said, a lot of changes, like to the schedule, to the body of your car.
Yeah.
So obviously, like everyone's goal is to like win races, win a championship ultimately. But like, what are some other goals, like personally, that you have for this upcoming race season?
Well, first things first, and I know a lot of people out there know this about me and my family, but our number one goal is to have fun. If we go to the racetrack and have fun, which we do every time, but that's why we do it. There's no other reason. Now, does that mean we don't take it serious or whatever? No, we do. We want to win, and we want to go, finish up front. But having fun is our main goal, because if you take it any more serious than that, for me, it isn't worth it. It's too much money involved. It's too much drama. I mean, everybody knows how it is. So if we go and have a good time and laugh and smile, that's our number one goal. That being said, I want to win a championship. To me, that's the ultimate goal. I guarantee that 9 out of 10 guys will sit up here and say, "Oh, I want to win races," and the points fall as they may. And I get that, but I've won one feature before, and I want to win more. Don't get me wrong, but to me, a championship is the ultimate goal. If I won 2 races this year and finished 4th in points, it wouldn't mean as much to me if I won the championship in no races. I'd rather win the championship, which is different, I think, than most racers. So that's the ultimate goal, besides having fun. But it is what it is, and we'll take everything that we can get, you know.
And like you said, having fun is what it's all about. And like at the end of all these segments too, we want to give people a chance to, you know, thank the people that have helped you. Maybe say a word to, you know, kind of garner maybe some more attention to your race team in 2019. So I'm going to give you the floor. And so just, you know, who would you like to thank for like helping you to get to where you are today? Who's going to help you in the future with your race team? And then why should people jump on board with you in 2019?
Yep. I have a lot of support, and more is always needed. But first and foremost, I got to thank my wife, Randy, and my little girl, Lydia. They put up with a lot for racing. Even though maybe I don't spend as much time as some of my competitors, I get distracted, and it's tough. And she picks up the slack when I'm racing, and I couldn't do it without them. For sponsors, RN Craft, Bob Craft came on board a few years ago, and he's a super guy. Met through social media. I've always known him. He's kind of from the area I'm from, and that man helps me a lot. And he's a good friend. We text, and we have a good time together. And he's a big supporter. Chip Service Center, the Webster family. They're on a lot of race cars, and they choose to be on mine. And again, I met Jason Webster back in '95. I was first year racing Wildcats, and we pitted next to each other with Chris Smith, actually, which was three of us in a row, which was pretty wild. But they helped me a lot over the years, and again, I couldn't do it without them. And they're friends of mine. I consider them. And we got J&J Naturals, Phil, and everybody involved with his family. Again, met through social media, and those people have helped me a lot, and big supporters. We got Integrity Services of Maine. That's a gentleman that a competitor hooked me up with. Bruce Helmuth introduced me to this fella, and William Bouchard, and he's helped me a lot the last 2 years. We got Ricky Race Cars has always helped me. Tony Ricky with, you know, different setups and stuff, nicely built racing engines. Kim Tensity Productions is it's the wife of a FedEx guy, believe it or not, but Matt Deering, he's a good guy. And they helped me out a little bit last year. And, you know, everybody I can't say it enough, everybody that helps me, I consider friends. Never mind that they help me financially or whatever, but it's just cool that my friends are on my car. You know, I think, again, a lot of people take that for granted. They choose to put their business names on my car. And to me, that's pretty awesome, you know? And I try to represent them the best way possible. And very, very, very rare for me to be upset at a racetrack, especially nowadays, you know, as I get older. And always looking for more help. You know, it is tough because I mean, I have a great job and everything, but it's tough to pay the bills sometimes. And I really, really, you know, I love having different companies' names on my car just because it's a lot of fun to support them, and they support me. And we actually get to park in Victory Lane a few times, you know, get a few podiums, and you know, it really gets their names out there, you know, and couldn't do it without them. There are a lot of good people out there, so.
Yeah, and like you're always walking around with a smile at the racetrack. That's one thing that's awesome, is that no matter what kind of day you're having, you're always, you know, you always make sure that you see me, say hi. You're just one of those people that, you know, always happy and optimistic. So if you want to be involved with this race team and this guy, and you know, get involved with not only your car but maybe your dad's too.
Well, yeah, that's true. Actually, there's been a few sponsors over the last couple of years where the name's gone on both cars. So that for the price of one, I guess, is you know. And we're in the same division, but it's pretty cool because my dad doesn't actively seek out sponsors. I mean, he's 70. He's not really a sponsor guy, but we kind of put him on both cars because it looks cool, you know, and kind of team cars, obviously. So it's kind of neat, you know.
Yeah. And then if race fans, people watching the show, want to find you on social media, it's just Maddie Samborn, right? Do you have a Facebook page too for your team?
We do. It's MSR, period. I don't know why I didn't put the period, but yeah, it's Maddie Samborn Racing, and of course Maddie Samborn on Facebook. And you know, I've met literally almost all my sponsors through social media. So sometimes there's a lot of negativity involved with that. For me, I see a lot of benefits of that too, because without that, I probably wouldn't have met these people. And I think that's a really cool thing. You know, to be able to connect like that. And if their businesses share, have a post or something, I share it. I always try to share it because that's what it's all about, is giving back a little bit. And this past week, I've gave us some gift certificates to different restaurants to my sponsors. It doesn't even come close to repaying them for what they give me, but it's just a little something. Let me treat you and your wife to dinner. To me, that I try to give back to try to keep them on board, but I haven't got to all the sponsors yet, so bear with me. So I have all the gift cards. I just got to hook up with everybody.
Definitely a great team. Funny guy, family man too. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing how you do in 2019.
Yeah, awesome.
And hopefully we see you with the trophy at the end of the season.
Cool.
Thank
we'll
you.
be there.
For a trusted name in residential and commercial site work in the southern Maine area, call Peter Pettit Excavating. We can handle everything from the complete house lot to those nasty water and sewer line repairs. Septic systems are another area that we specialize in. During the snow season, Pettit Excavating has the equipment to handle any size job.
And when the race season arrives, be sure to follow the number 7 Hewitt's Family Restaurant Chevrolet on the past Super Late Model Tour.
Call 207-282-9305 to get the job done right. That's Peter Pettit Excavating.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
Welcome back to Mainely Motorsports, and we're here with two-time defending champion, the late model sports division from Lee USA Speedway, Frankie Eldridge. And Frankie, welcome to Mainely Motorsports.
Thank you for having me.
And maybe a name that a lot of people that follow just racing in the state of Maine don't hear and don't know about. But when I tell you this guy's a real deal, when you come into the season, you set your goals, and then you capture the championship in such a commanding fashion, winning the last 5 races of the year. I mean, that's a tough class.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough class. Big competition all year long, and we just had a game plan right from the get-go and stuck to it and didn't worry about what everybody else was doing. That's
something so funny. Yesterday I was at a cheerleading competition, and this is what I said to some of the people there. Just worry about your own game. Take care of your own program. Don't worry about everybody else. You don't hear that in racing. You don't hear that in anything. Everybody's always worried about everybody else. And you come in with a plan, you focus on what Team 09 and Frankie has to do, and you do it.
Yeah.
You didn't worry about Brian Kruzak. You didn't worry about the Hallowells. You worried about your game.
Yeah. We try not to worry about anybody. We know who's going to be fast, and just try to keep with them and do the best we can and just worry about what we're doing.
Because you know, if you race the track every week and come out with the best result you can possibly come out with, it's all going to shake out at the end of the year. And obviously picked up 5 wins at the end of the year, but how many wins did you have total? We
had 9 wins total for the entire season, so that was a big accomplishment. Beginning of the year, I set my goal to like 5 races, hopefully to winning that, and then all of a sudden towards the end of the year we got like 2-3 in a row, and it just didn't stop from there, and it was way farther than we expected to accomplish.
Yeah, no, that's a huge deal, and you're just a small local team, you know, a lot of family and a lot of friends that make it possible, and so it's that much more rewarding when you're not the guy with the big check, can just buy whatever he needs to find success.
Yeah, everything that is pretty much on our car we have made, built, fabricated, all of that stuff. There's usually like 3, maybe 4 guys at the shop every single night working.
Yeah.
So there's not too many people there to actually help us out. But once we get to the track, we have a good amount of people there. So.
No, obviously, but 2000. I mean, that was a dream season, and then you end up in North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
How everybody that tells me that I've talked to talks about that banquet, says it's phenomenal. the guy from Portsmouth that just started racing a few years ago, what was his take when he first got to start experience what was taking place?
It was surreal. Going down to North Carolina for our first time, going to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, walking around there for their after party and stuff like that. It was crazy. And then going to the banquet itself and everything like that, it was just amazing.
And knowing you were one of the honorees, you know, you weren't just a spectator sitting there taking it all in. You were going to be on the stage. Your name was going to come down through the scroll. You were going to be recognized by NASCAR as being one of their champions. You know, I mean, as big a deal as the next couple levels up, the trucks, the Xfinity, and the Monster Energy. I mean, they make you feel like you're the real deal.
Yeah, it was definitely a big deal and a big eye-opener to realize that there's a lot more to it with all the NASCAR points and everything like that.
Yeah, so all the stuff you were handed, you know, and not that you were handed it, you earned it, you know, so it really, yeah, it opened your eyes. Now it's got to make you want to go back.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's what everybody says. You know, they experience it and then they come back, oh man, I want to do that again, you know, and Dan McKeag up here at Race at Beatrice, perfect example. I think he went in 2010. That's all he talks about. Because now his boys are older. He wants to go back and take his boys. Wants to take the crew members that didn't get to go last time. He wants to get back there so bad for that reason. And everybody I talk to says it's an amazing event.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing, and I absolutely want to get back.
So one thing you've done, and you know, it might not hit you till years down the road, you won the last late model championship under the ownership of Red McDonald, who was a great guy.
Yes.
And then you won the first championship under the ownership of the Wren family, who are great people and doing great things. But talk about Red McDonald. Talk about your history with Red. Talk about what you, I mean, they don't come any better.
No, Red was an awesome supporter. I still see him there every week. He always comes over, shakes my hand, everything like that. He has been a great supporter ever since I started racing and showing up at Lee.
Yeah. Then you make the change, the Wrens. Nobody knows what's going to happen. You know, are these guys just coming in, going to try to bleed the place out of money, or what is their thoughts? So far different than that. I mean, they put a lot of time, a lot of effort into it. They want that place successful, huh?
Yes, they do. They've put a lot of changes already just through the season, and I can't wait to see what other changes that they make.
Yeah, they aren't stopping. They're really exciting. Obviously, bought Monadnock, and
yep.
Just moving forward, and with not only their tracks, but the divisions, you know, and things that they're trying to do. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We got some more questions for Frankie. Like I said, 2-time track championship at Lee USA Speedway, one of the up-and-coming tracks, a track that's doing so much work and trying to get back to where they were years ago. And the Wren family is really doing it. And with guys like Frankie at the helm of these race cars, it's going to happen. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on Mainly Motorsports.
Hi, I'm Scott from Scott's Recreation. We just had the biggest month in our history. Why? We're selling campers at wholesale to the public, even the 2019s. So what did we do? We went out and bought a bunch more. Up to 40% off travel trailers and fifth wheels, up to 35% off toy haulers, up to 30% off motorhomes. You'll never see these prices again. Over 400 campers to choose from, all at wholesale prices.
Scott's Recreation, Route 4 Turner and Route 202 Manchester, Maine.
Hi, I'm Johnny Wolf. Here at 21st Century Motors, we've been in business since 1972 and we take pride in our work. We have a large selection of pre-owned vehicles that are clean and ready. I personally drive and state inspect every vehicle we sell. We're experts at getting your car financed, whether you have good, bad, or no credit. We purchase vehicles several times a week, so there's always plenty to choose from. Come on in and make a deal today at 21st Century Motors in Gorham or online at 21stcenturymaine.com.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by
Scott's Recreation. Whether you're thinking about your first camper or looking to upgrade your current one, Scott's Recreation can help you. Get both our Route 202 Manchester and our Route 4 Turner locations and online at scottsrecreation.com.
Well, welcome back to Mainly Motorsports. We're here with Frankie Eldridge, and you know, we were talking earlier. You know, you started back in what, late 2000, you know, the 2009 era. Yep. Take us through the early years, starting, stopping, coming back, and
Well, when I first started, I couldn't even drive a standard. Learned in my race car, took everything out. Went out for the first time, and I had Grant Ather there helping me, teaching me certain things. And he actually gave us our first car, helped us out with that. And went through the season. Had some rough times and all that.
Now, did you start right out in a late model?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Why work our way up? Let's go right to the top.
Exactly. Just head first right into it. So did that, and then towards the end of the year, we just kind of ran out of money. Took a year off. Had a couple other people drive the car. It didn't end very well, but it is what it is. Things happen.
No,
so
exactly.
Decided to take a break for a while and started helping Ricky Porter out with his Sportsman. And he kind of just jump-started us back into it. Got our own chassis, and we've been going ever since from there.
So you took a few years off, came back, and then it was funny, as you know, when you could have been that guy that just left it and came back to it, you stayed in it. You went to work for a successful team, and you learned. You know what I mean? So now when you come back to race, you're so much more knowledgeable. So now as you strap in the car, it's so much, I don't want to say easy, but it's easier because now you have a feel. Now you can make those adjustments. Now you can know what the car's doing. You have the terminology that you probably didn't have when you first started.
Oh, absolutely. It, even though it was multiple years off from my first year to my second year, you could tell the huge improvements just from knowing what little things I didn't know in the first time.
Yeah, and that's what happens with a lot of racers. They don't know. You know, somebody will say to them, "What's the car doing?" I don't know. I don't know. It's squealing. The tires are squealing, you know. Is it squealing in the front? Is it squealing in the back? They don't know. So yeah, so probably taking 2 or 3 years off and becoming a crew member was the best thing that ever happened to Frankie Eldridge, the driver.
Yep, absolutely. So I definitely learned a lot just hearing from what other drivers were complaining about, wanting more of, and it just helped all around.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So now, you know, 2014, we come back, we show steady improvements, and then, you know, 17 and 18, we're track champion there. And 18 was a real big deal because of becoming the premier division, you know, whereas it used to be the 350 Supers.
Yep.
So, you know, a lot of people, you know, we talk about the family. Talk about some of the people that make it possible, the crew, the sponsors, the people that are behind the scenes that, you know, might not be out there in the front stretch when you're posing in victory lane, but are playing a big part in getting you to victory lane.
Well, I know my father is the biggest part of the whole operation. He helps build the car, or he does build the cars, I should say. He is the mastermind of everything behind it, with all the setup and game plan and all of that. We go through all of that. But I definitely have a couple of sponsors that are huge. Exeter Roofing. He has been a huge supporter for many years and always wanting us to do awesome, great, and just succeed at everything we do. And then we picked up Ciotti's Racing last year, and he's been huge, wanting us to step up and do more and just keep trying to win championships.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely. Now, what is 2019? Are we obviously focusing back at Lee and try to three-peat, which is very tough to do. Back-to-back is one thing. Go 3 in a row with the level of competition they have, really tough. But anything else on the horizon? You know, how compatible are these cars to branch out and try to race some other events?
With the new rule package coming out, it makes it a lot easier to go to all the new tracks and everything like that. Our plan is to go to Lee and try to three-peat, and then we were also discussing trying to go to Hudson every Sunday and trying to pick up championship there.
So they run the same type of car over to Hudson?
They're going to be after all the new rules.
Yeah, so there's been a big change with Claremont, Monadnock, Hudson, Star, and Lee all jumping on board. I know there's been a lot of talk in the off-season, some positive talk, some negative talk about making this happen. what's your take on it? You know, trying to get the 5 tracks to unify a rules package.
I think in a few years it will definitely be a great thing. The car counts will definitely be awesome and everything like that. It definitely was a little bit a big bullet to chew this season.
Yeah.
But we're putting in the work and trying to get everything there.
Did it affect you and your car and some of the changes that you're kind of forced to make?
It definitely affected us pretty big.
Yeah.
They just opened up a lot of the chassis rules for the other tracks, so
yeah.
Now we're just kind of building up our chassis from there. So
yeah,
just trying to make everything go with their rules.
No, and you'll be fine. And you guys sound like a guy that adapts pretty well. So you know, coming off 2 great years. Lee is coming off 2 phenomenal years. Obviously, Oktoberfest, big deal to be there for that. You know, nice to race in front of those big crowds with the Star Classic. I mean, excuse me, not the Star Classic, the Ollie Silva Memorial Race,
yep.
And you know, the super modifieds, and you know, so there's a lot that happens. Lee's probably one of the few tracks, and I've said this for years, that brings in every touring series throughout New England at least one time. So puts you in front of a different crowd, sometimes a much bigger crowd than you normally race in front of. So, you know, you got to be excited about that. Excited about 2019. Try to 3-peat. And anything else you want to add? Anybody you forgot? Anything?
I'm sure I forgot a bunch.
Oh, but just send it in a letter. We'll put it on, like, we'll run it on a thing. But
yeah,
no, you are fun to watch. You do a great job. You're that guy that you might not be there at lap 15, but when there's 5 to go, you know, everybody knows where the 09 is.
Yeah.
No, it's good. So 2-time defending champ, Lee USA Speedway, looking to 3-peat, made the stop. He's on his way to MIK, stopped in the Mainely Motorsports studio, tell you all about him, introduce himself. And like I said, people from Maine, if you haven't been down to Lee, when you do show up and make that trek down, watch for the 09 and Frankie Eldridge. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back here on Mainely Motorsports.
Hi, I'm Sean Moody. We take pride in our facilities, and at Moody's, it's what's inside that matters. We believe it's more than just the exterior looking good, it's what's inside that matters. Restoring the structure of your vehicle to factory specs is critical to your safety. I'm proud of our Moody's co-worker owners who understand the importance of protecting your valuable asset. And we all know what our most valuable asset is. It's what's inside that matters.
Welcome to Mainely Motorsports.
To order a copy of this show, send a check or money order for $15, including shipping and handling, to Mainely Motorsports, 2 Main Street, Suite 17-103, Biddeford, Maine, 04005. And please add the show number in the description of the show.
Servicing differentials is virtually impossible. The confined space makes fill holes difficult to reach, and industry-standard conical bottles are rigid and hard to squeeze. That combination makes for a messy job. Plus, you can't get all of the gear lube out of the bottle, so you have to buy more than you need to complete the job. And engineering your own solution only results in disaster. Not anymore. Introducing the new AMSOIL Easy Pack. Easily access hard-to-service differentials. Easily squeeze out all of the contents. And easily stay clean while you do it. No more leftover fluid or inconvenient rigid bottles. No more trouble reaching difficult fill holes. No more mess. AMSOIL Severe Gear in the new Easy Pack. The solution to all your problems.
Another first from AMSOIL. For a stocking dealer nearest you, call toll-free 877-761-8375 or visit fourseasonsynthetic.com.
Welcome back to Mainely Motorsports, and today's been a stacked show of drivers visiting with us. We've had Matty Sanborn, past modified driver. We just heard from Frankie Eldridge, late model sportsman driver. And now we're here with Nick Calvert, who is the driver of another Calvert, races Legends now on Thursday nights at Beach Ridge Motor Speedway. So we've kind of been all over the board today on this show. So like I said, Nick is here with us. He was the 2017 JV Trucks champion at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway on Thursday nights, and then this past year moved into the Legends division. So talk to us a little bit about what made you decide to move into the Legends division.
Well, the first thing, thanks for having me. And biggest thing for me is I wanted to challenge myself again. I raced trucks for a few years. My goal was to win a championship in trucks at Beech Ridge, my home track. I was able to do that my final year of JV. So I decided to move into Legends. I've always seen the Legends driving on the track. They seem like fun little sporty cars. So I decided to give it a whirl and try. And so last year was my rookie season, and I raced full-time in the Now car as well as full-time at Beech Ridge.
Yeah, you were pretty successful overall. Like, you were able to race at, like you said, Beech Ridge was your home track. And so that is the track that you race most at. But this past year, you were able to branch out, go to some different tracks. I saw you when you were up racing at Wiscasset, but you were able to go to some different tracks. So what was that like for you, not just being stationary at one track every week and being able to branch out and visit new tracks?
It was a great experience. The Now Car Tour does a great job branching out to different tracks. We went from 95 to White Mountain to Star to Wiscasset, like you said, Beech Ridge. Each track has its own host of challenges that you address, whether it's different spring packages that we have to run there. So that was a big learning curve for myself. Different gear ratios we have to change out. So it was a big learning curve, trying to figure out what I need to run at what track. So it was a great experience. So all the tracks are awesome. They open you with open arms. And they were great to be at.
And of those tracks, like, do you have like a favorite? And then on that same different end of the question, do you have one that you like seem to struggle the most at of those tracks that you visited this past season?
The one I struggled the most at, honestly, was Beech Ridge, my home track. It's a track that doesn't have a lot of grip, so it was hard for us. Doesn't have a lot of banking, so it's a hard track for the Legends. As much as they look like they're on rails, they're not. You're constantly floating around. My favorite track was honestly White Mountain. It's that track is amazing. I looked at my wife after the race and I said, let's move here. I don't care what it's going to take. Let's move to White Mountain. This is amazing. But each track, Wiscasset's a blast. Speedway 95 is a blast. The outside groove on Speedway 95 is fast. It was fun. That's actually when I was running my best race. I was up 95. So.
And then, as you talked about, like, big transition this year, like, from a fan's standpoint, you see the trucks and they're like these big cars, and they're aggressive, and then you see the Legends and they're little cars that zip around their track, still kind of aggressive. And how did it feel, making that transition, and what were the differences for you and as a driver between the two different divisions?
The biggest thing is the power to weight ratio. The Legends weigh 1,300 pounds minimum, with about 150 to 160 horsepower. A truck was double that with a little bit less horsepower, or quite a bit less horsepower. So just the short wheelbase, they're zippy, like you said. They're very reactive when you drive. The truck's not so reactive. The Legends were on street cut tires, so they fall off a little bit more than the truck tires did. Truck tires when we were on Hoosiers were great. They lasted us all season. Legend tires don't do that, unfortunately. But just a great experience overall. Obviously a lot smaller. I'm a big guy. Squeeze myself into a little Legend is a task to be had.
And then one thing about the Legends too is that we see a lot of like super late model drivers trying their hand behind the wheel of a Legends car. So you're racing out there with like Trevor Sanborn, Charlie Buxton, Austin Terrace, people like that. Kevin Gerard, who has been so dominant in the series in past years. So who are some of the competitors that you were able to learn from and kind of take notes from throughout the course of the season?
Every competitor, was willing to, help the rookie out. I'm not a competitor to them, so they're not willing, worried about giving us some information. I'd say my best help was Casey Call and Call Racing out of New Hampshire. They, went above and beyond, making sure if I had any questions, they'd come over my stall and answer any questions I had. But every competitor, like you said, Kevin Gerard would go Motorsports. Bob Weymouth, the legend of the legend of legends. Everybody was great at answering questions and helping us out, trying to get us more stable on the track.
Yeah, definitely some great competitors, a great atmosphere in the Legends division that you race. So, maybe we'll take a commercial break, come back, and talk about where your car is looking for 2019 so far, the upcoming Augusta, or not the Augusta show, the Portland show, and what your plans are for 2019.
Sounds great.
So we'll be right back here on Mainly Motorsports.
Welcome to LST Landscaping, where we've been providing complete landscape solutions to all of southern Maine since 1969. We specialize in year-round landscape maintenance and snow services, including weekly lawn mowing, seasonal cleanups, sweeping, mulching, and so much more. Many more customizable services are available upon request. Please call our office today at 207-878-1578 or visit our website, lstlandscapinginc.com.
Ignition won't turn? Wait, don't tow it. It may just be a one key. Hi, I'm Jim Broadhurst, owner of E-Keys for Cars of Saco. At E-Keys for Cars, we'll diagnose your problem over the phone and give you a firm quote. No bait and switch here. Whenever or wherever you're stuck, E-Keys for Cars will come to you. Call E-Keys for Cars in Saco, the fast, affordable fix for your car key and lock needs.
E-Keys, they raise the bar. E-Keys for Cars.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by
Four Seasons Synthetic. See them for all your AMSOIL product needs.
Welcome back to Mainly Motorsports, and we're here with Nick Calvert, who races in the Legends division. And before we went to the break, we talked a lot about 2018, how it was a big change for you as a driver, going from racing trucks to racing these little Legends cars. So what are your plans for 2019, and how is the car coming along?
So 2019 is going to be a big season for us. We went out and bought a brand new chassis, big boy chassis, sedan, coupe, sorry. New body, new rear end. I was racing a bubble coupe before, kind of outdated technology. So we went to a little bit bigger, fit me a little bit better. So we're really looking forward to unveiling this at the Portland Expo. The car will be there, all done. We're putting our finishing touch on it this week, so we're excited to unveil a new car for this 2019 season.
And as you see this show will actually air the week of the Portland Expo. So what are some things that you're looking forward to at that show? I know it's a great tool for drivers to be able to, mingle with other competitors, see other tracks. Like, what are you looking forward to? Is this going to be your first show that you're involved in this year?
This will be my first show. This is the first time I've actually had a piece of equipment nice enough to put in the show. I'm looking forward to the whole experience. I'm looking forward to mingling with other drivers, talking to other drivers, talking to the tracks, and just talking to the fans. That's the biggest people that we need to support, or that support us, is our fans. So letting the kids sit in the car, letting the kids look over the car, and showing off my sponsors, because I got a whole host of sponsors that are going to be on the car for the show, and we're always looking for more, but there's plenty of them on the car, and we're grateful to have every sponsor we have.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting weekend coming up. Kind of kicks off the race season in a way. After that Portland show, it's crazy to think that race season is just around the corner. So with that being said, we talked about how you raced at some different tracks in 2018. So are you planning on racing on full Beech Ridge schedule again in 2018?
Probably not the full schedule on 2019. We're going to do a limited schedule on Thursdays, just because I'm going to focus mostly on the tour. And some nights you race Thursday night, then you have to change your whole car setup for Saturday race. It's a taunting task. So we're going to try to, depending on the weeks, we'll race as much as we can at Beech Ridge, because that is our home track, local, fun track to race. But we're going to focus on the tour.
Are you visiting any other tracks in 2019 that you haven't had a chance to race to yet?
We actually are. We got a great schedule this year. Go to nelcar.com or .org, or I don't know, honestly, sorry. But we're going to Oxford this year, doing the Oxford 250 weekend. We have 3 races that weekend. We are going to Hudson, Speedway 51, I believe, along with White Mountain, Star, Speedway 95, Wiscasset, and Beech Ridge. So we have a full schedule this year, and it's going to be great.
Awesome. So you'll be all over, man.
We're going to be all over. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun.
And then, like you said, 2018 was a growing year for you as a driver. So what are some things that you took from last season that you want to take with you in 2019 and improve on this season?
Just learning the setup of the cars. That's the biggest thing for us. Learning what to do when the car reacts a certain way, what we can do. and I'm just looking forward to trying to improve it. Last year I was trying to get top 10s was my goal. Now, I'd like to be in the top 5, around the 5th place. Obviously I want the win, but like you said, we're going on some heavy hitters, Austin Terrace, Kevin Gerard, Casey Collins coming back as a pro. We got some heavy hitters in the lineup, so we'll take what we can get, but I'm hoping for top 5s.
And of the tracks coming up on the schedule, is there one that you're like most excited for, or one that you're like, oh, this might be a challenge too?
All the new tracks that we're going to is going to be a challenge and excited for, because I haven't been there yet. I'm excited to go back to White Mountain because that's a little bowl, is a little fast-paced track. But Wiscasset, they're great. Beach Ridge, honestly, I don't have a track I don't like. Speedway 95, the people up there are so supportive of the Legend class. It's great.
We talked about that earlier with Maddie too. Like, each track brings a different set of fans and a different atmosphere, so it's kind of cool. Like, both it's like a driver, fan, somebody involved in racing, to just kind of get the feel of these different tracks too, and it's really exciting, really.
It is. Everywhere we go, the fans are amazing. They support us. We've had, like I said, a few autograph sessions at other tracks, and the fans flock to us to check out these little cars that they don't get to see on a weekly basis. So it's great to see the kids, even the adults light up. So it's a great experience. It really is. The tracks are, very great.
And I think one thing that's cool too about the Legends cars too, especially on like autograph nights, is where these cars are like easily accessible to kids too. So you can just open up the door and let them sit in. So you don't have like the whole like kids being like kind of intimidated to be put into a seat. So that aspect of it makes you closer to like the younger fans too.
It does. It's nice. We can open up both doors so they don't feel like they're claustrophobic. Let them get in there, sit down, and feel how low it is actually to the ground. A lot of kids talk about that. The 10-year-olds are like, oh wow, I feel like I'm sitting on the ground. Well, you pretty much are. We're 3 inches off the ground. So it's pretty impressive. It's the kids love it. We love having them.
Yeah, it's definitely all about the fans, all about the atmosphere. But one thing that racing is also about are the people that help you and your teams. So maybe we'll take another break, and then when we come back, we'll wrap up the show with Nick, and we'll talk a little bit about those that have helped propel him in 2000. We'll help propel him in 2019 and have helped you in your past as well.
Sounds great.
Hi, I'm Andy Austin with exciting news about a new division of Beach Ridge Motor Speedway designed to bring new people to weekly racing. Here's series founder Dan Wolf.
Thanks, Andy. Our goal was to create cheap, easy-to-build race cars. Bone stock production cars with a simple 4-point roll cage and proper safety equipment.
We've named them the 21st Century Motors Street Devils. Our 2017 rulebook and schedule are available at beachridge.com and at Street Devils Racing on Facebook.
The future of auto racing has always been streetcar divisions because of the low cost.
Some folks are building cars and sharing the driving duties. There's even an all-star car to allow celebrities to try out the Street Devil, and a 2-seat driver's ed car so you can take a few laps.
Get information about our mentor program, low-cost safety equipment, roll cage kits, and videos on how to build one at Street Devils Racing on Facebook.
So, form a team, build a car, and come join us this summer as we kick off the 21st Century Motors Street Devil Division at Beach Ridge Motor Speedway.
Football fans, have we got a deal for you? VIP Tour and Charter Bus Company is offering round-trip transportation to Gillette Stadium to watch the New England Patriots make another run for the Super Bowl. Ride in style knowing we're doing the driving. So if you've got a ticket, we've got your ride. It doesn't get any better than that. Just log on to VIPChartercoaches.com, click on the Browse Book Tour button, and book your trip today. It's that simple. Relax and leave the driving to us, and we'll leave the tailgating to you.
Welcome back to Mainely Motorsports, and now at the end of the episode, but as we talked before the break, one thing that's huge for drivers is their families, friends, team, and sponsors that help them out throughout the course of the season. So who are some people that you would like to thank for helping you, this past season in 2018, and will be on board with you again in 2019?
Well, my parents are honestly one of my biggest supporters. Even though I'm out of the house, they're still a huge supporter of me, my dream, and my love, my passion for the racing. My wife, obviously, throw a plug out to her. But for the sponsors, I have a lot of great sponsors, from Chasing the Checkered, to Gibson Builders, Charlie Powers with Amsoil, Mud City Dive Services, Watercat Productions, Seth Lehman Builders, Critical Plumbing.
Tattoo. You have a tattoo.
Oh yes, Leviathan. I don't even know how to pronounce it honestly.
Leviathan.
Yeah, Leviathan Tattoo out of Scarborough. Great guys. They do great work, honestly. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but they do great work. We have Dan Downs with Bean Group Realty. I think that's about it for my major sponsors, but like I said, every single one of them are great, and they're, without them, I wouldn't be able to run the full season, so it's awesome.
I think one thing that's cool too about, being a driver that's like moved up is that like people like Seth who were competitors are competitors to you, not necessarily in your division, but other divisions on Thursday nights, stepping up to, help other people pursuing different divisions as well.
Yeah, Seth Lehman, with Seth Lehman Builders is, stepped up big time last year to help out. He wanted to be on the car. He's always loved Legends, so he wanted to be on the car. Along with Bill Gibson, it was a past JV Mad Bomber champion. He doesn't race currently, but he wanted to step up, and he's going to come back on board for this year. And it's just amazing to see how other competitors want to help other competitors when they move up into different divisions.
Definitely really cool to see. Like you said, definitely a fan, like friendly family atmosphere when it comes to the Legends division. It's just racing in general, which is really cool, really tight-knit group. So definitely looking forward to seeing how it all plays out in 2019.
Very excited.
Seeing how, kind of the points ends out, and to see you compete at these different tracks will be really cool.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to 2019. It's going to be a great season. Coming out with a new chassis, new car. It's it's going to be fun. It's going to be wherever hiccups in the beginning, I'm sure of. Trying to learn the new chassis, but overall, it's going to be a great season.
And lastly, if anybody wants to find you and follow along with your journey on social media, where can they find you?
I'm on Facebook with Critical Racing 33 or at Critical Racing 33 from when I was in trucks. You can follow me there, or Nick Calvert. You can follow me there as well. Any sponsors that are looking to sponsor, feel free to contact me. We always have room for sponsors. But feel free to follow along on Facebook and see where we're going to be racing next week.
Definitely check out this guy on social media. Follow along with his journey in 2019, and we're looking forward to seeing how you do.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Mainly Motorsports.